everybody, how you guys doing today? Today I'm going to be giving you guys a coaster review, and this is of the Defunct Son of Beast at Kings Island. I have never ridden this ride, so I have my uncle who has ridden it, and he is going to be explaining the ride and reviewing it for you guys. Take it away, Kenny.
I rode this ride back in 2001. My sister and I drove up to Kings Island. We lived just outside of Louisville in Prospect at the time. And we drove up to Kings Island for the day, rode everything there, including a couple of times on Son of Beast. And, well, I was hoping it would be a lot better than it was. It was not a pleasant experience. I got off of it with the best thing about it was the loop, which they took out in subsequent years. But yeah, that was really the only saving factor for that ride. I came off of it with a headache. By the time we were on our way back home, I thought I had been in a car wreck, and I hadn't even... that was literally the only bad thing about the entire trip, was riding Son of Beast. It was not pleasant. It was not fun. There was nothing good about that ride except for the fact that it had the loop in it, and that was the best part.
All right, so now we're going to go through the POV. So how was the pre-lift before the lift hill?
That I don't really remember all that much. The whole ride it's one of those experiences where you know how when something happens in your life that you don't want to remember, you just kind of try to hide it, and the whole thing has just kind of been like that.
So, yeah, first what you do is you kind of take a pretty big turn. I believe it's to the left. Yeah, left. And then you kind of go down into this valley, go up, and then turn. You're already going fast at this point, faster than some wooden roller coasters. So that's pretty cool. I don't really see this part being all that rough, but that looked like a pretty decent part of the ride.
I don't remember that all that much. I do remember coming off of the lift.
So you're going to go up your lift hill. So
yeah.
From what I've heard from you, this lift hill is slow.
Yeah.
How slow?
It was pretty slow. it was... I mean, the Beast can be slow, but holy crap, this was... Yeah, not cool.
Then you're going to get to the top and go through this little, downward turn before the lift hill. How was that? Anything?
You mean before the first drop?
Yeah. How was, is there anything notable about that?
Not really. Other than the fact that, there's some roller coasters just have that little dip turn before you come back up and then go down.
I assume there was a valleying problem there because there was a drive tire in the POV at the very top of when you go down the lift hill. When you go down the first little, whatever you call that
I
thing.
remember being concerned about that when I rode it, but I don't remember there being a drive tire there. That might have been something that they added later.
It must have been.
Because it might have been a valleying problem, but I don't recall there having been many, if any, issues at the point in time when I was there.
Okay. Then you're going to go on the first drop, and how was that?
The first drop was not bad. It was actually a good drop. After that, it went to hell very quickly.
How was the valley after the first drop?
After the first drop, it went to hell very quickly. It was like if the ride had ended right there, it would have been fine. It would have been a perfect ride, but it did not.
How was that first big turn after the valley?
Ooh.
Not good?
I think that's where my head aching began.
That part of the ride specifically, I believe that part was open for about 3 days, and then they had to shut it down and reprofile the whole thing. That turn, I'll show you a video later if you haven't seen it. The whole ride, you went up there. I'll put the video on this too. The whole ride, the train got up there and boom, big pothole right to the side.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And they had to reprofile. I believe it was closed for a month, and then so I can only imagine how that first turn was. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the more notable parts of the ride, how was the Rose Bowl?
It was not a bed of roses, I'll tell you that. It was excruciating, and it was just kind of dull, I thought.
No positives?
I mean, yeah, there were positives, but it wasn't enjoyable.
So after the Rose Bowl, you go into the midcourse brake run, which is actually interesting. I've heard this midcourse brake run is adjustable speed for sure. Mm-hmm. I've heard depending on how fast it's running, it'll either slow the train down, not touch it, or even speed it up.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know about the speeding up.
It can even speed the train up with the drive tires. Like, if it's going too slow, it'll boom, because it has to go...
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the speed is, but I know it has to go into the loop with a certain amount of speed and an exact amount of speed. Mm-hmm. That has to be a thing. So it'll either speed the train up, slow it down, or keep it the exact same. So how was the turn off of that midcourse brake run?
Well, it pretty much dropped you right into the loop. Mm. So, yeah, that was the best part of the ride.
So, that being said, how was the loop? Go into detail about the loop.
The loop was, I had my insecurities about a loop on a wooden roller coaster. Obviously, this is not RMC that we're talking about. This is back in 2001 with a roller coaster that, as we all know, is no longer there. And they took the loop out several years in, even before they took the roller coaster out. But the loop overall, it was the best part of the ride. It was thrilling, it was good, it was smooth. I really did enjoy that.
It looked a lot smoother, and it should have been, because it wasn't the track it was kind of the trains, but not really, because the trains are some of the heaviest trains you will ever see. They were the heaviest trains at Kings Island. Son of Beast had huge trains. I believe each car was several thousand pounds. And
after 2006, when the Myrtle Beach Pavilion closed, they ran the Hurricanes trains on Son of Beast, too.
That's pretty crazy, and that's why they had to get rid of the loop, because they weren't heavy enough.
Right.
They could have just added a launch where the midcourse was, but that's true.
Well, do we really want to get into that discussion?
Lightning Rod and Son of Beast combined.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole different thing. But yeah, the main problem with this ride was not the track. The track was fine.
Yeah.
It was the support structure.
Looking at it, it was a stunning ride to look at. Standing there in line or wherever you were in the park looking at it, you wanted to ride it. It was after you got on it that you were just like, why in the hell did I do that?
But yeah, after the loop, you went into all these turns and this one airtime hill. Did that airtime hill give any airtime?
I don't even remember the airtime hill.
Well, based on the POV, it does not look like that.
But then again, by that time, I was pretty hurting, so I probably would not have cared if I got any airtime there.
Yeah. The rest of the ride kind of looks like crap. The airtime hill, there's no way that thing gave airtime. And from what I've heard from other people, it did not. And the other turns look, again, forceless. It looks like two mini versions of the Rose Bowl back there. Mm-hmm. And then it looks like you fly into the brake run. Not really fly, but you're going at a decent speed.
You were going pretty fast into the brake run, I remember. It wasn't like Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood used to be, where you just crashed into the brakes and the entire ride shook.
Oh, you still do. They run it with two trains now, no problem. You still go with the brakes are closed.
It was... You knew when you got to the end, because it hit. Yeah.
So, what are your overall thoughts on Son of Beast? Give it a score out of 1 and 10, too.
Oh, but between 1 and 10, I'd probably give it... It's not the worst ride I've ever been on. It's down there. It's way down there. I'd probably give it 2.5 or 3. It's always sad to see a coaster go, but I think Kings Island has much better stuff going for it now than it did when Son of Beast was there. I mean, do I wish it could have been fixed? Of course. I wish I could take you there and take you on it so that you could experience it just for the heck of it. But I'm really happy with what I think the park made the right decision, and I'm happy with what they have there now.
Well, all right, guys. There was your Son of Beast review for you guys. If you guys have not watched El Toro Ryan's Problematic Roller Coasters video, that is where I got all the information about the mid-course brake run and the trains. So go watch that video if you want to know more about Son of Beast. I will leave it as a link in the description. I will also leave a link to the description to my merch store. Thank you guys so much for watching. Aim high, not low, and never quit. Peace.